Welcome. Today, I'm talking about the one thing that sets apart successful realtors and entrepreneurs and those that are not successful. If you're new, hi, I'm Melanie Super. Like I said, I run a team of about 125 realtors at eXp Realty. We're the top 0.01% at our brokerage for speed of growth. And now we have a new course called Recruiting Secrets, helping others do the same. So I've coached hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents and entrepreneurs. My business before I got into real estate was marketing consulting, where I coached a ton of entrepreneurs to help them grow and scale their business. So I've been around the block a few times. And this one thing, I have seen it countless times with realtors and also in myself. It's something that I'm constantly coaching myself in, and that is resilience, because I'm going to be straight up. Entrepreneurship is hard. Being a realtor is hard. Building a business is hard. And anyone who tells you otherwise is probably trying to make money from you selling a get rich quick scheme that is not going to work at all. It is hard. There's going to be days where it feels like everything is going to go wrong. There are days that it feels like everyone is rejecting you. There are days that you're doubting yourself, that there are just obstacles popping up. Even not days, there are hours where you're just like, wow, this was a terrible meeting, or this was a terrible whatever. I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel good about the business. That is totally normal. But the one thing that will set you apart on your entrepreneurial journey, whether you're in real estate or a different business, is having resilience and not giving up. So today I want to talk about the 3 reminders that I give myself when I'm hard. Hey, Bonita. Hey, April. I'm going live now on YouTube. I got Instagram and Facebook up because maybe you missed this, but my goal for this quarter is to go live once a week. So today I'm talking about the 3 secrets, I guess you could say, of what I tell myself on the days where I want to quit, where I want to give up. Well, that's too strong. I will never give up. It is just not in my vocabulary. Literally, I will never, ever, ever, ever quit. However, there are days where I am not excited or I feel like it's hard. And these are how I coach myself through those. And these are ways that when agents come to me, agents on my team, agents in the Royal Circle, or just people coming and say, hey, I'm having a hard day, here's how I coach them through it. Now, the first thing is a reminder that success is reserved for the top percent. Now, there's a reason that not everyone in the world is successful, because if it were easy, everyone would have it. So every time that there's an obstacle or a roadblock or a speed bump even that makes you question whether you're on the right track, or question whether you're doing the right thing, or just question, oh, why is this taking so long? Just remember that each of those pit stops, there are people that have quit, which means that your competition is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which with every time that you have this obstacle and you say, this isn't going to stop me, I'm going to go around it, or I'm going to push through it, or I'm going to keep going. So just some easy math, like let's say there's easy math. Let's say there's 100 people in the world that are trying to be successful. And with each level that it gets harder, if 10% of those people drop out, but you stay, but you say, hey, I welcome this challenge. I welcome this obstacle. I know that I'm never going to quit. I know that nothing is going to stop me. If you keep going, it's only a certain amount of levels that until you're number one, until you're at the top. So in the way, every time it gets hard, you should be celebrating and you should be saying thank you. You should be saying, hey, now I only have to beat 90 people. Okay, cool. Now I only have to beat 80 people. Okay, now I only have to beat 70 people. Okay, now I only have to beat 60 people. And this isn't even about being like number one in the world, but I'm just talking about, again, like I said at the beginning, success is only reserved for the top percentage. So even when 10% drop out right away, even without changing a single thing, but just by still being in the business and being consistent and showing up, you have already upgraded your status, or, your whatever, 10% just by not quitting. So hopefully that helps, because it seems like it's easy for everyone else. It can seem like it's easy for everyone else, especially on social media, especially when you see people that are just, sharing their wins, sharing their brags. Very rarely do people show up and say, like, today this sucked. My employee quit on me. This charge went through and I'm getting sued, and whatever it is, very rarely do people share those things. Sometimes after the fact they will. But most of social media and most of the time, the conversation that we're having is like, oh, everything's awesome. My business is growing. I made $1 million today and I took a 10-month vacation, So it's really easy to feel like you're the only one struggling. But just remember that everyone is having those things. And people also are not sharing when they quit, especially now. To my realtors out there, man, this recession or this market that we're in, agents are dropping like flies. So every single day, if you want to think about it that way, every single day that you are still paying your MLS fees and you are still doing your CE classes and you are renewing your license, I promise you that day there are realtors that said, I just can't take it one more day, and they quit. So let's use that 100 number again. If that was too big, like, oh, everyone in the world. But now let's say there's 100 realtors in your neighborhood and you have to, yesterday you were fighting 100 of them for that listing presentation, but today 3 of them decided not to renew their license or decided to go inactive. Now you're only competing with 97, so every day that you can outlast the others, it means it actually becomes easier for you. So if you're just tuning in, I'm talking about those hard days being a realtor, being an entrepreneur. And the one thing that really will set you apart and make you be successful is if you just don't quit. And that leads me to number 2, which is just the only way to guarantee that you reach your goals is by never quitting. The only way to guarantee that you will never reach your goals is if you do quit. So you could be saying to yourself, I'm not talented, I'm not good at whatever these excuses that we have are in your head. I'm bad on camera. I don't know how to do listing presentations. I don't know how to recruit. I don't know how to do this. Whatever these stories that you have are, those could be true. Or like a lot of people say, who would want to work with me? If you decide that nobody wants to work with you and you quit, then I guarantee you that nobody will want to work with you because they will literally not have the opportunity to work with you. You know what I mean? So you are guaranteeing that will come true by quitting. If you say, no one wants to work with me, therefore I'm hanging up my license, I promise you will have no clients because you will no longer be an active agent. The only way to see if that could happen is to not quit. So if you keep going, you at least have a chance. Even if it's a 1% chance, that's infinitely bigger than the 0% chance, because you can't multiply anything by 0 is whatever. So you can't multiply it. But, even if it's a 1% chance, the lowest chance, that is infinitely bigger than the chance that you had if you quit. And a common phrase in this space is like, you didn't get this far just to get this far. There was a reason that you started. There was a reason that you had this goal. There was a reason that whether it's, I want to be a realtor, period. I want to quit my job. I want to be the best realtor in my city. I want to be the best realtor in my state. I want to be, whatever your goals are, you had that goal for a reason and you started for a reason. And if you quit, it is the only guarantee that it will never happen. So just math, like, I like to be very logical, and often the emotions that are coming up when you want to quit are just what I said. They are emotions. It's hard. You could be having just a hard couple minutes, and honestly, it could go away. But if you quit, it will be forever. And that's actually my third point. Quitting is forever. The pain is very often, almost always, temporary. Like if you say, and I've done this, if I have had a rough morning, I will quit my day at noon, even though it's only noon. And I will say, look, I just am not in it mentally. I don't have the emotion to show up for I know I could trudge through and work on things for the next 5 hours, but my heart isn't in it and it will take me a long time. And I don't want to bring that energy to the stuff that I'm creating. So I'd rather just quit for the day, and tomorrow I'll do it. And tomorrow I'll be energized. And tomorrow it could take me 10 minutes to do what would have taken me 5 hours today. So taking a break is totally okay. And giving yourself that self-care and giving yourself that pep talk and giving yourself, that's when it is so important to have people that you can reach out to and rely on, and other peers, like people within the real estate business, and also people that are not in the real estate business that can just say, yeah, that sounds really hard. Whatever you're feeling today, the pain that you're feeling, the embarrassment, or, oh, I'm not making the money that I want to, or, oh, it's not going as fast as I want to, or whatever the frustration, whatever it is temporary. It will go away eventually, especially if you keep showing up and keep showing up. However, quitting is forever, and regret is forever. You will always, I read this in Trevor Noah's book many years ago. I forgot what his book was called, but he had a book, and the last chapter is about regret. And he said, he's not the only person who said this, but you will always regret what you didn't do more than regret what you did. So what you didn't do would be not trying, not continuing, not pushing through the pain, not doing all of those things. But what you did do, I sleep well at night, even on the days where I'm like, this was a hard day. I sleep well knowing that 10 years from now, I will never be able to look back and say, I could have tried harder. Never. And I know that every single day I show up and I give my all. And like I said in the beginning, I will never quit. Even on the days that I'm like, man, this sucks. I know that I will never quit. And I know that I'm still giving it my all. And that gives me peace of mind because I know that what most people regret at the end of their life is what if I never gave up? What if I kept trying? What if I reached out and got help? What if I reached out and talked to someone about my frustration instead of just quietly quitting? What if? Those are what haunts people. It's not the, oh, I tried and I failed, because the other thing is every time you fail, you are actually learning and growing. Failure is like my least favorite word ever because it's just showing you what doesn't work. And for those that are tuning in, also, if you're watching live, give me a hashtag royal. And if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag circle. Also, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the ways to overcome that desire to quit when things are hard and how to build that resilience as a realtor and as an entrepreneur when things get hard. And what I already talked about, I said, success is reserved for the top percent. So every day that you stick with it when other people are quitting, you are actually getting less and less and less competition, which means you're closer and closer to your goals simply just by still showing up. Because other people are quitting, you are moving forward. The other thing I talked about is that giving up is the only way to guarantee that it won't ever happen. Like if you think there's a small chance, but at least if you're trying, there's a 1% chance. If not like an 80% chance. But if you quit, there's a 0% chance. I can guarantee you that if you quit, your goals will never get achieved. Your dreams will never happen. And the third thing is that everything that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It sounds cliche, and there's a great Kelly Clarkson song with that title, but it's true. Every time that you lose a listing, that you lose an agent, that you have a meeting, that you embarrass yourself, that you go live and no one shows up, or whatever it is, every time you do those things, you are building your skill set, you are building your resilience, you are building that like confidence inside of you that says, I'm a person that keeps going when things get hard. I'm a person that never gives up. I'm a person that will do this thing even though it's hard. Think about at the gym. How many of you guys are weightlifters here? I got into it a couple years ago. Jordan helped me get into lifting, and now I'm like obsessed with it, mostly for the mental lessons that it teaches me. It teaches me that slow and steady progress makes big results, and you have to do small steps every single day, and you have to show up. And even if you're not seeing results, your body is changing and you're getting stronger. And that ties into this because when you're lifting weights, you have to do more than you can in order to grow your muscle. Now, I am going to butcher this because I don't actually really understand the science, but basically, like if it's comfortable for me to whatever this bench or lift 10 pounds, if I keep doing 10 pounds, I will always just be, oh my God, Femke, hi. I'm talking about how to overcome wanting to quit and resilience. And I'm talking about how when you're lifting weights, you have to overload it. So if you can lift 10 pounds comfortably and you're always doing 10 pounds, you will never get stronger. It's when you lift up a 15-pound weight and you're trying, and maybe if you can do 10 reps of 10 with 15, you can only do 2 or 5 or whatever. And it's hard and you have to take a break. That's when your muscle grows. And if you do that long enough, then you can do 20 pounds and then you can do 25 pounds and then you can do 30 pounds. You have to always be reaching outside of your comfort zone and doing what hurts and doing what feels uncomfortable and doing what feels scary and doing what you're not good at in order to get good at it and get stronger and reach your goals. That's what this is about. This is about how to reach your goals and how to not quit. And really, it's just, for me, the last tip, as a bonus tip, I was really only planning on talking about 3, turned into 4, now it's turning into 5. Just think about your future self. I think I talk about my past self and my future self, my present self, all these things all the time, but your future self, like think about who you will be 5 years from now and 10 years from now. And in order to get to that person, you have to be doing the things today that bring you closer to that person. So if you first of all, if you quit, you'll never get to that person. That is, like I said, point number 2, that's a guaranteed 0% chance that will happen. But even if you're just staying in your comfort zone and you're not trying new things and you're not pushing yourself and you're not feeling a little bit of pain every once in a while, not like super pain, but just like the pain of disappointment or the pain of trying and failing and someone rejects you and all of those things. If you're not improving a little bit every single day and pushing yourself a little bit every day, how can you ever become that person that you want to be 10 years from now or 5 years from now? And so for me, it's about like looking in the mirror and feeling proud of myself and knowing, like I said earlier, if you joined in, I was saying every night at night, I can sleep well because I know that I gave it my 100%. Even on the days that it sucks and I quit at noon and I took the rest of the afternoon off because I was having a bad day, which I do that sometimes because it's important to take care of yourself, especially as an entrepreneur. Even on those days, I can look at myself in the mirror and say, I gave it my all today. And 10 years from now, I will never look back and say, I wish I pushed myself harder. I wish I did more. I wish I tried harder or invested more or pushed myself more. I know for a fact that I can't do that because of how hard I'm pushing myself today and all of these things. Like every single day, I squeeze all the juice out so that I know that I'll never regret not trying harder. Because for those that are joining in late, that's what most people regret at the end of their life. They regret not taking the chances, not showing up, not keep trying, not keep going, not, betting on themselves and investing in themselves and doing those things. They don't regret the things that they do. They mostly regret the things that they don't do. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks everyone for joining in. If you're catching the replay, like I said, #circle below. If you're watching it live, thank you so much for tuning in and give me a #royal. Also tag your friends. Who do you think needs to hear this today? I was talking about this today. Honestly, this is the advice that I need myself. And I'm a firm believer that we teach what we need to learn. So that is why I chose this topic today, but also because I know that this marketplace and just the current state of the world that we're in, it is hard and people are struggling and a lot of people are quitting, especially in real estate. A lot of people are choosing not to renew their license or they're just straight up quitting because it's hard. And so here are the 3 things. Please tag your friends that need to hear this or just tell it to yourself. Remember that every time you stick with it and it's hard, other people are quitting, which means your competition is lessering and lessering and you have it's getting easier for you. The more you just stick with it and stay on course. Also, what does not kill you makes you stronger. Every time you fail or every time it's uncomfortable, every time it's hard, you're telling yourself, I'm someone that shows up. I'm someone that's consistent. I'm someone that's resilient. Resiliency is a muscle just like anything else, and you're building that within yourself. Also, if you give up, you are 100% going to not reach your goals, 100%. But if you stick with it, at least, Sam, hi. If you stick with it, there is at least some percentage that you'll get it. And honestly, the more you stick with it, the percentage increases. Also because the first point, like I said, more people are quitting. So your competition is disappearing right before your very eyes and you don't have to do anything. The power of I am, my cousin said. My cousin, just a quick shout out. She's on Facebook. I know I'm streaming on other platforms. She is such a role model to me. She has a huge business. She has the best attitude. She has always been there for me. And I'm so honored that she's on this live. I want to make you proud, Sam. I love you. She said the power of am. Yeah, just saying that you are someone who never quits. You are someone that is successful. You